Welcome to our journey to discover 20 surprising things about Vietnam, a country you won't believe exists. 1. The mysterious gem of Asia begins to shine. Lying between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer, Vietnam possesses a unique geographic position, both strategic and attractive to global travelers. The soft, S-shaped land embraces over 3,000 kilometers of coastline, standing out with diverse terrains from plains and plateaus to mountains and islands. Thanks to variations in latitude and elevation, many regions can experience 4 seasons in one day, a fascinating phenomenon rare in the world. The red flag with a yellow star is a symbol of patriotism and the indomitable spirit of the nation. With over 100 million people, Vietnam ranks among the world's most populous countries, where 54 ethnic groups coexist to create a vibrant cultural mosaic. Vietnamese, with its complex tonal system yet poetic charm, is challenging to learn but incredibly captivating. Today, not only is there a widespread Vietnamese diaspora, but tens of thousands of foreigners also choose Vietnam as their home, enriching the identity of this promising S-shaped land. 2. Paracel and Spratly Islands, the epicenter of tension and Vietnam's unwavering sovereignty. The Paracel and Spratly archipelagos are not merely offshore territories, but lie at the heart of one of the most complex and prolonged territorial disputes in the Asia-Pacific region. With their strategic location along international maritime routes and abundant natural resources, this area has remained a geopolitical hotspot for decades. The Paracels have been under complete Chinese control since 1974, following a bloody naval battle with South Vietnam. Meanwhile, the Spratlys are divided. Vietnam controls nearly 30 features. China has built illegal artificial islands. The Philippines holds about 9. Malaysia occupies 5. And Taiwan currently administers Itu Aba Island. Sovereignty claims are based on differing historical and legal interpretations. However, China's 9-line claim was rejected by the Permanent Court of Arbitration, PCA, in 2016. Vietnam asserts its sovereignty through historical evidence, practical administration, and continuous activity in the region dating back centuries. Today, Vietnam continues to pursue a peaceful resolution based on international law, particularly the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, while reinforcing its presence and promoting sovereignty awareness. On international platforms such as ASEAN, the United Nations, and regional security conferences, Vietnam consistently presents a firm yet diplomatic stance. In the 21st century, the Paracels and Spratlys are not only symbols of patriotism, but also a significant challenge in Vietnam's diplomatic and defense strategies. 3. Hao Dong, where spirituality and theatrical art become one. Hao Dong, also known as the spirit possession ritual, is a distinctive spiritual practice of the mother goddess worship, a long-standing indigenous religion in Vietnam. Recognized by UNESCO in 2016 as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity, Hao Dong is a harmonious blend of spirituality, performance art, and Vietnamese cultural identity. During the ritual, the medium is believed to be possessed by deities, undergoing changes in voice, gestures, and personality to convey messages and bless participants. Each descent is a spiritual performance. Vibrant Chow Van music, elaborate costumes, and graceful dances rich in Eastern sacred symbolism. The ceremony also includes burning paper offerings such as horse carriages and spirit money, symbolizing wishes for peace and prosperity. A Hao Dong session often lasts several hours, featuring dozens of trance incarnations, multiple costume changes, singing, dancing, and the distribution of divine gifts. Costs for organizing a ritual can range from a few million to hundreds of millions of dong, forming a unique spiritual economy in many localities. More than just a religious ceremony, Haodong serves as a spiritual bridge where people reconnect with faith, hope, and their roots amid the pace of modern life. Number 4. Vietnamese women and the trend of cross-border marriages. In recent decades, the number of Vietnamese women marrying foreign men has steadily increased, especially in countries like South Korea, Taiwan, China, Japan, the United States, and various European nations. This phenomenon reflects a deep cultural exchange within the context of globalization. Vietnamese women are admired by many foreigners for their blend of traditional beauty and gentle, capable, intelligent, and graceful qualities in communication. Their lifestyle, which values family and marital stability, is also a key attraction for many international men. Today, social media, cultural forums, and overseas Vietnamese communities serve as invisible bridges for these cross-border connections. Additionally, matchmaking services, especially in rural areas, also contribute to this trend, although they sometimes raise ethical concerns about consent and voluntariness. It is not just a journey of building a family abroad, but also a story of cultural expansion, women's rights protection, and the search for mutual agreement. However, an increasing number of successful love stories have shown that sincere affection can transcend barriers of language, nationality, and tradition. Chapter 5. Vietnam: Simple Happiness in a Turbulent World. Although not an economic superpower, Vietnam is recognized globally as one of the countries with high happiness levels and admirable safety ratings, especially according to international surveys in 2025. In an era marked by wars, crises, and natural disasters, the serenity and stability found in Vietnam have become major attractions for both tourists and foreigners seeking a long-term place to live. Many international visitors who have been to Vietnam express a strong desire to return, not just for its stunning nature, unique cuisine, or affordable costs, but because of the warmth of its people, their openness, and a simple, down-to-earth way of life. From the peaceful highlands of the Northwest to the sun-kissed beaches of central Vietnam, the country offers a sense of rustic happiness that is hard to find elsewhere, a kind of joy rooted not in material comforts, but in human connection. Notably, more and more foreigners, from Europe, the US, Australia to South Korea, are choosing Vietnam as a place to retire or settle long-term. They find here not only a pleasant climate and affordable living expenses, but also a relaxed pace of life and a unique sense of community. Areas like Hoi An, Dalat, Da Nang, Hanoi, and Ho Chi Minh City are becoming expat-friendly hubs, where foreigners can enjoy life while easily integrating with local society. Happiness in Vietnam doesn't come from grand things. It could be a morning coffee on the sidewalk, the cheerful laughter in a countryside market, or the way people are always ready to help one another in tough times. In an increasingly uncertain world, Vietnam stands out as a place to regain balance, to slow down, and to fully embrace the meaning of a happy life. Number 6. Patriotism: When national spirit fills every rooftop tile. In Vietnam, patriotism is not only expressed through songs, historical tales, or solemn ceremonies, but sometimes revealed in ways that are both simple and unexpected. A vivid example is the movement of painting the national red and yellow star flag on rooftops, a social media trend that once went viral across platforms like Facebook and TikTok. Thousands of homes from north to south are blazed with the symbol of unity, serving as a quiet but powerful affirmation of sovereignty and national pride. That same spirit reaches its peak during special moments, such as international competitions, the Olympics, or regional sporting events. When a Vietnamese athlete steps onto the victory podium, it's not just a personal achievement, but an emotional resonance shared by millions. From thrilling football matches to beauty and knowledge contests, Vietnamese people are always ready to give their all for their flag and colors. A particularly striking trait is the public's strong reaction toward products or statements that violate territorial sovereignty, especially concerning the Paracel and Spratly Islands. Many major brands have faced boycotts after being found to publish incorrect maps or disrespectful advertising. In such situations, social media quickly becomes a frontline where citizens express their voices calmly yet firmly, a version of modern-day patriotism. No slogans needed, just clear and responsible action. Chapter 7. Husband Snatching. A matriarchal custom of feminine power in Vietnam's Central Highlands. While many cultures view marriage as a man's initiative, some ethnic communities in Vietnam's Central Highlands, like the A Day or Manong, give that power to women. The practice of husband snatching, though it may sound unusual, is actually a ceremony rooted in matriarchy, where a woman actively pursues and claims the man she loves. The ritual begins with the woman offering a ring to the man, a symbolic act of proposing. If the man agrees, the couple lives together for a time in a sort of trial marriage, to test compatibility before holding a formal wedding. What makes it unique is that all decisions come from the woman, from choosing the partner to initiating the marriage, a rare feature in traditionally patriarchal Asian societies. Besides husband snatching, some other ethnic groups practice wife snatching, where the man makes the move using symbolic gestures like intercepting the road or waiting at night. However, whether initiated by man or woman, both customs are ritualistic and free of coercion or violence, despite what the names may suggest to outsiders. Today, these practices are evolving to better align with modern law and values, but they remain seen as distinct cultural expressions that reflect the flexibility and diversity of marriage in Vietnamese culture, where love can transcend traditional norms. Chapter 8. Street markets and vendors' cries, the melody of Vietnamese daily life. In the hustle and bustle of modern city life, one sound still echoes gently every morning: the cries of street vendors. Calls like "hot sticky rice here" or "plain baguette" ring out through narrow alleys, not just inviting purchases, but evoking childhood memories and a familiar, down-to-earth Vietnam. It's estimated that over 430,000 people make their living as street vendors nationwide, from cities to rural areas. They are women carrying baskets of produce, uncles pushing sugarcane carts, or men weaving through industrial zones with boxes of banh mi strapped to motorbikes. Behind each call lies a story of struggle, of people determined to survive against hardship. More than just fast food, street vending helps shape Vietnam's street food culture, one of its top attractions for foreign visitors. Dishes like rice paper salad, green bean sweet soup, mobile noodle stalls, or late-night pho have become cultural icons, where flavor is born not from expensive ingredients, but from human connection and memories. Vendor cries need no music or microphone, yet they spread with surprising power. They are the wordless soundtrack of Vietnamese life, simple, profound, and unmistakably unique amid a changing world. 9. The Love Market in Ha Giang, where old flames are never forbidden. Hidden among the Rocky Mountains of Hà Giang, the Cao Vi Love Market, Meo Vac district, is one of the most unique customs in Vietnam, where feelings from the past are given a chance to be revisited in a compassionate and humane way. Unlike typical marketplaces for trading goods, Cao Vi is a space where former lovers, even those now married, can reunite, converse, and share in an atmosphere of mutual understanding and community acceptance. Locals do not see this as betrayal or wrongdoing. On the contrary, it is viewed as a cultural beauty, showing respect for relationships that once played an important role in life. For single people, it is also a chance to find a partner in a festive setting, where traditional music blends with corn wine, Hmong flutes, and laughter echoing through the forested mountains. The Cao Vi market has no stalls, no signs. It exists simply through handshakes, shy glances, and unfinished stories. In a modern society bound by rules and norms, this place becomes a rare corner where emotions are honored above all else, where old loves are not judged but listened to as part of a deeply human past. 10. Vietnamese. Coffee culture. When a cup becomes a way of life. In Vietnam, drinking coffee is not just a habit, it's a lifestyle, an embodiment of the slow-living philosophy amid a fast-paced modern world. While major cities grow and change rapidly, in quiet roadside corners, old coffee stalls remain, where young people talk, elders read newspapers, and workers pause to rest. It is a place where people connect, not through speed, but through genuine presence. Standing out in the global coffee scene are uniquely Vietnamese creations: egg coffee, rich and dessert-like, salted coffee with a subtle savory finish, and yogurt coffee, a surprising blend of tangy fermentation and bitter charm. Each has its own story, its own method, and its own cultural flavor. In Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, or Hoi An, some cafes have stood for decades, where time seems to stand still. Sitting in an old shop, sipping slow-dripped Fin coffee, one feels the true rhythm of the city, not in the honking cars, but in the quiet moments of everyday conversations. Vietnamese coffee doesn't require fancy machines or elegant glassware. All it needs is a plastic stool, a small wooden table, and a few friends. In that simplicity, we find a life philosophy. Be real, slow down, and cherish every moment. Number 6. Patriotism. When national spirit fills every rooftop tile. Not found on any mainstream tourist itinerary, Du Gia Waterfall, located in Du Gia Commune, Yên Minh District, Hà Giang Province, is Vietnam's true Blue Lagoon, known only to adventure lovers. Deep within limestone mountains and ancient forests, it features twin waterfalls cascading into a crystal-clear pool with bembayed green water. The most magical thing about Du Gia is not just its raw beauty, but the feeling of freedom when immersed in nature. Jumping from cliffs into the cool water, drifting across a landscape untouched by tourists. This is what captivates international visitors, an unfiltered, non-commercialized experience that feels like discovering an unspoiled land. No phones, no Wi-Fi, no noisy vendors, only the sound of flowing water, rustling leaves, and laughter from travel companions. Du Gia is not a place to check in, but a place to disconnect, to connect deeply with nature and with yourself. Though modest in infrastructure, its untouched nature is precisely what preserves Du Gia's irreplaceable beauty. Like a secret natural pool made for free spirits in search of silence and authenticity. 12. Vietnam. A quiet manufacturing powerhouse, reshaping global supply chains. Few would have expected that beneath its traditional agricultural image, Vietnam has emerged as a silent giant in global manufacturing. Now ranked among the top 3 exporters of textiles and footwear worldwide, Vietnam is a key production hub for major global brands such as Nike, Adidas, H&M, and Puma. From sneakers in the US to business attire in Europe, many of these products carry the label Made in Vietnam. Alongside light industry, Vietnam also stands out in agricultural exports, leading the world in products like cashew nuts, Robusta coffee, pepper, rice, dragon fruit, and passion fruit. Regions like the Central Highlands, Lam Dong, and the Mekong Delta have become billion-dollar export zones, firmly placing Vietnam on the global agricultural map. Beyond that, the manufacturing shift from China to Vietnam, part of the China Plus One strategy, has transformed this country into a top destination for global tech giants. Companies like Samsung, LG, Foxconn, Intel, Apple, and hundreds of others are building factories and expanding operations across industrial zones from north to south. In a world shaken by geopolitical tensions and supply chain disruptions, Vietnam is emerging as a country that is fast enough, stable enough, and flexible enough. A manufacturing power that's not flashy, but full of internal strength, and increasingly playing a vital role in the global economy. 13. Vietnamese traffic, a global culture shock that's gone viral. If you've ever searched crossing the street in Vietnam on TikTok, you'll find millions of views on videos where foreign tourists are stunned, terrified, and finally triumphant as they manage to cross through a sea of motorbikes. For many foreigners, it's a rite of passage, a challenge where traffic rules seem to be negotiated creatively, meter by meter. From a Western perspective, Vietnam's traffic may appear chaotic, but for locals, it's a harmonious flow, where pedestrians, motorbikes, bicycles, and cars share the roads with an intuitive and flexible rhythm. Traffic here resembles an improvised symphony, not bound by formal structure, but still beating to its own rhythm. What's surprising is that app-based motorbike taxi services like Grab, Gojek, and Bee have flourished in Vietnam. Urban residents, from students to office workers, tourists to homemakers, use apps not just for rides, but also for food delivery and goods transport. It's not just about convenience. It shows how technology has been successfully Vietnamized and woven into daily life. Vietnamese traffic, though it may shock at first, is a testament to human adaptability and improvisation, where everything somehow works, even if it seems to disobey conventional order. 14. Labor experience tourism. When sweat becomes a cherished memory. More and more international travelers are coming to Vietnam not just to enjoy its landscapes or cuisine, but to embark on a completely different journey, becoming a Vietnamese farmer for a few days. They roll up their pants to wade through rice paddies, harvest crops under the blazing sun, learn to light wood-fired stoves, plow fields with buffalo, or make fish sauce and spring rolls. These seemingly tough activities offer deep, emotional experiences, something that luxury vacations rarely provide. What makes this kind of tourism so appealing is its honesty and authenticity. No staged scenes, no acting. Everything is part of the daily life of rural people. When a Western tourist learns to carry water buckets, pound rice, or grow vegetables beside a smoky hearth, they're not just learning survival skills, but stepping into a slower world, where time feels suspended and people connect more deeply with nature and community. Homestays and community-based tourism villages in provinces like Ninh Binh, Hà Giang, Hoa Binh, Hoi An, and Can Tho are increasingly offering live like a local tours. Here, visitors don't just rest. They live with and work with the locals, heading to the fields in the morning Cooking at noon, watering plants in the afternoon, and listening to traditional stories at night. Many tourists leave in tears after saying goodbye to the honest farmers and promise to return, not for the scenery, but for the warmth of the people. This trend not only promotes sustainable tourism and generates income for local communities, but also serves as a powerful cultural bridge. In an age of commercialized travel, these simple experiences, like being a Vietnamese farmer for 3 days, are emerging as unique tourism products that capture travelers' hearts through humble human connections. Number 15. Lunar New Year, the immortal soul of Vietnamese culture. Lunar New Year is not only the biggest holiday of the year for Vietnamese people, but also the most sacred moment, a time of reunion and return to one's roots. More than just a festival, Tet is the soul that binds generations in a continuous cultural flow spanning thousands of years. Whether you're in a bustling city or a remote mountain village, the spirit of Tet comes alive in traditional foods like bánh chưng, braised pork with eggs, ginger jam, and the scent of incense during ancestral worship. Every ritual, from sending off the kitchen gods, first foot visits, to giving lucky money, symbolizes hope and a fresh start, carrying wishes for peace, luck, and prosperity. A unique cultural specialty of modern Tet is karaoke music. The holiday just wouldn't feel complete without timeless songs blasting from speakers. From ABBA's Happy New Year and Paul Anka's Diana, to remixed versions of Vietnamese classics like Spring Has Come. This quirky mix of tradition and modernity is what makes Vietnamese Tet unforgettable for locals and foreigners alike. 16. Cu Chi Tunnels, a great underground city beneath the earth. Located just 70 kilometers from the center of Ho Chi Minh City, the Cu Chi Tunnels are a real military marvel. A 250-kilometer-long network of underground passages built entirely by hand during wartime. More than just a shelter, the tunnels included field hospitals, weapon depots, living quarters, and even revolutionary printing presses. The brilliance lies in the forward-thinking design, ventilation holes disguised as termite mounds, smoke filtration systems to avoid detection, and labyrinth layouts to confuse enemies. All of it showcases the ingenuity and resilience of southern Vietnamese forces during the resistance. Today, Cu Chi is not only a symbol of steel beneath the ground, but also a major tourist destination, attracting over 1 million international visitors each year. Crawling through the tunnels, eating boiled cassava, and drinking roasted rice water give tourists a full sensory journey back to one of Vietnam's most heroic historical periods. 17. Street matchmaking, when love doesn't need an app. No need for complicated dating apps. Vietnamese youth are creating a new wave of romance, pairing up directly on the streets. Street matchmaking videos on TikTok and YouTube are going viral, where hosts randomly stop strangers and invite them to play games or pretend to confess love. The success of this trend lies in its spontaneity, authenticity, and unfiltered emotion. Love here comes from a first glance, a shy smile, and a genuine spark, something technology simply can't manufacture. Some couples have even ended up in real relationships after these impromptu connections. More than just a fun game, this trend reflects a new generation that dares to express emotions and open their hearts, proving that sometimes a moment's pause on a busy street could be the turning point of a lifetime. 18. Vietnamese cuisine, a journey of subtlety and surprise. Vietnamese food is a harmony of taste, color, and life philosophy. Each region has its own signature dishes, yet they all share a spirit of humble depth. In Hanoi, nothing beats the smoky flavor of grilled pork with rice noodles. In central Vietnam, the heat of the sun is echoed in spicy dishes like Hue beef noodle soup, steamed rice cakes, and bun bao. Down south, a true meal includes fresh herbs and sour fish soup or caramelized catfish in clay pots. Vietnamese cuisine is not just delicious, it's deeply communal. Family meals are served in shared trays, where everyone reaches, chats, and bonds silently through food. Even small customs, like inviting others to eat or saying eat before it gets cold, carry profound care and cultural meaning. Remarkably, wherever you go, from upscale restaurants to street stalls, you'll always be offered a free glass of iced tea. It's not just water, it's unconditional hospitality, a wordless welcome that defines Vietnamese warmth. And it's these little gestures that give Vietnamese cuisine its big heart. 19. Vietnamese. Landmarks that break world records. Vietnam is full of stunning sights, but some places have gone beyond travel maps to earn spots on the world stage. Sun Dong Cave in Quang Binh, recognized by Guinness as the largest cave on Earth, can fit a 40-story building inside and holds its own isolated ecosystem like an alien world. Then there's the Golden Bridge in Da Nang. With its iconic design of giant stone hands holding up a walkway suspended in the sky, it's become a symbol of Vietnamese tourism and often ranks among the world's most impressive bridges. Not stopping there, Vietnam also boasts Bai Ding Pagoda, the largest in Southeast Asia, the Han Tom cable car connecting sea and sky in southern Phu Quoc, and Nui Kok Lake, a tourist site that blends legends with modern architecture. These landmarks don't just impress with size or design, they symbolize Vietnam's rising ambition and pride in preserving heritage while stepping confidently into the global era. 20. Unbelievably low cost of living. Vietnam, the ideal destination for a comfortable life. Amid skyrocketing global prices, Vietnam stands out as an economic oasis, where the cost of living is not only low, but also provides a complete and comfortable lifestyle. From expat community reports to lifestyle review channels on YouTube, Vietnam is consistently mentioned as one of the cheapest countries to live in, especially when compared to Western nations. Rental prices in major cities like Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, or Da Nang are often just 1/3 or even 1/5 of those in New York, Paris, or London, offering a wide range of options from modern balcony apartments to traditional homes with gardens. A full meal at a local restaurant like Pho Bun or Cum Tam costs only 25,000 to 50,000 VND, or roughly 1 to 2 USD, while in developed countries, even a cup of coffee can cost twice as much. Beyond affordability, utilities such as electricity, water, internet, and sanitation are reliable and wallet-friendly. Transportation services, from app-based motorbikes like Grab or Bee to traditional taxis and public buses, are convenient, flexible, and extremely cheap. Getting around the city often costs just a few dozen thousand dong, leading many foreigners to exclaim, "Living here feels like traveling in business class on an economy budget." Thanks to all of this, Vietnam is rapidly becoming a haven for frugal living, especially attractive to retired couples, remote workers, and digital nomads. They discover not only low prices, but also warmth, a relaxed pace of life, and a welcoming community. Ingredients for a genuinely high-quality lifestyle. Low cost doesn't mean low value. On the contrary, Vietnam is proving that a meaningful, fulfilling, and comfortable life doesn't have to come at a high price. Do you think you'll ever visit or live in Vietnam? Comment below. If yes, or 0 if you're not ready just yet. And if you're interested in coming, and want to know more about visa info, drop a 7 in the comments. Let's see how many dreamers are ready to discover Vietnam.